Hello again. I'm not sure what the hell to call these things, but what I have on my mind is the fact that really that I want to talk about forgiveness, but I think in order to do that, I need to speak about truth, right? Because there's a lot of things that are going to come to light, I think, in the coming days, weeks, and months that are probably going to probably going to shake us all, right? I'm not a yeah, I don't have any inside information necessarily, other than the fact that I can feel it. Right? Is that there's just kind of this. I don't know. It seems like a lot of things are ramping up, and it seems like that. Yeah, like I said, there's just a lot of truth coming out, and and honestly, like we've all propagated it to one degree or another. And why? Because we believed it to be true because somebody else told us it was true, but was it really true? I don't know. I mean, and that's the thing. The thing about truth is, yeah, you're gonna know it when it's true. If it's, and I'm not talking about 2 + 2 = 4. I'm talking about the things that really matter, right? I'm talking about how to live, how to be, what's what, right? This kind of stuff. I think the people are. I see people starting to question things a lot more, and that's gonna lead some people to realize they've been doing it wrong. And I mean that's kind of what I've done, right? Is I've realized a lot of things in my life that I thought were true aren't true, right? That's why I've made a lot of the changes I've made because I'm all about I'm all about the truth, right? And I understand that that most of us are we're just kind of cogs in the machine, right? We're doing we it's not as if we're most of us are necessarily out there to mislead people. We've been misled ourselves. How do it's the blind leading the blind. How do you how do you handle that, right? I mean, and when you realize you've been deceived, right? Yeah, okay, you can do one of two things. You can either double down on the lie, or you can admit you were wrong and revel in the truth, right? And honestly, I like the truth. I mean, they say the truth sets you free, and yeah, and I think a lot more people are starting to, like I said, a lot of things I think are going to come to light, and a lot of people are going to, they're going to start questioning what they've been told, right? And yeah, and honestly, y'all know what's true, right? You don't need an external authority to tell you what's true, right? You know what's true, right? And if you actually listen to yourself and strip away all the stuff that you've been told and all the reasons and everything, and you actually I don't know, come out and spend some time in nature, which is when I like to do these videos, right? I come out of nature for a reason, although there's still too many people around here given where I live, but I'm far enough away from people, and I'm out in nature, so I can actually to just I don't know, to reconnect with the planet and reconnect with with everything, and then we all need to probably do that more too, right? We all need to maybe get back to nature a little bit and touch terra firma, right? And I feel I'm very lucky that I've lived places that are beautiful and I can go outside and breathe the fresh air, right? But here's the thing about all of this truth coming to light. It's probably going to make you angry. You're probably going to get upset at people, right? You're gonna want to do stuff, but this is where the forgiveness comes in, right? Look, we've all been lied to. We've all propagated the same lies, just to one degree or another. This is where we go, okay, look, you didn't know better. It's not so, and honestly, you need to forgive yourself and forgive others, right? And that and what does that mean? That means, yeah, I recognize that did something, but what did it teach you? What did that teach you? Well, it all of that taught you, right, that what the truth was, right? And I've always said that I don't care if I'm wrong, as long as if what I say causes the truth to come out, then I'm good, right? Because that's what it's about for me, right? It's always been about what is true, what is what is right, and I think and I think a lot of people are starting to realize that that what they thought was right maybe isn't right, and they're looking for a different way. So we're all been kind of the blind leading the blind, and yeah, we need to forgive each other, right? We need to say, hey, look, we made some mistakes. Now, the other part of that, and I've said this before, is but you don't tolerate the stuff that isn't true anymore, right? You don't let it in, right? You say, look, I'm, this is where boundaries come in. This is where we say no, right? This is where we decide that, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Just because they say to do something, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't do it, right? I mean, now don't hurt anybody, right? I'm not about hurting anybody. I'm not about I don't know, whatever you want to say about it, but I'm about people, finding, being, I don't know, like living in the truth, right? Living with the truth. And I know that, yeah, sometimes the truth is, I mean, I've had to acknowledge some truth about myself that I didn't necessarily, necessarily want to confront, but I did, right? And now that I've understand that truth, and I'm much happier, right? I don't have to. I'm not worried about what people think or say, because I know I'm doing me, and I'm doing what needs to be done, and I know that ultimately, the truth is there. The truth will set you free, and so. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, the truth is going to come out one way or the other. Like I said before, we need to forgive each other, because yeah, we've all propagated the lies to each other, and but don't take any shit, right? Like, look, once you figure out what that is, don't. Once you figured out that the sky is blue, don't let somebody tell you that the sky is black, unless it's dark, in which case, yeah, the sky is probably black. But anyway, my point is, and let's see. I wonder how that's going to come up on the video. I'm going to have to actually listen to that and see what that comes up as, because I just dropped my AirPod, right? So, because yes, I'm sitting here in the forest, but yes, I think at the end of the day, right? I guess this is a message of, we all need. As I say, the truth is going to come out, and we need to give ourselves, right, not just other people, but give ourselves grace, right, that we were misled, right, and we didn't, and unfortunately we didn't have the discernment at the time to realize that what they were saying wasn't true. Now you and sometimes you have to learn what's true by learning what's false, right? That's kind of how it goes, right? Is sometimes you have to learn the opposite in order to learn what it is you're trying to learn, and that's just the way of life, folks. So. Don't be too hard on each other. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Love and happiness for everybody.